A struggling single mother helped an old cleaner during a job interview, not knowing she was a secret billionaire who owned the entire company. You won't believe how her story ends. Welcome to King of Afro-Tales. Please subscribe to our channel and give this video a thumbs up. It means the world to us. If anybody had told Evelyn Johnson that her life would turn upside down just like that, she would have argued and sworn on her late father's grave. But here she was, broke, divorced, and swimming in debt like a stubborn goat trapped in floodwater. Her husband, Tunde Johnson, the same man who once promised her heaven and earth, threw her and the children out of the house like market tomatoes that had spoiled overnight. Why? Because he had found a younger, richer woman named Vanessa. His parents did not say a single word. They just folded their arms and watched as if it was none of their business. From her mother's house to her sister's house to her friend's house, Evelyn squatted everywhere like a refugee until she finally managed to get a tiny apartment. A one-room apartment that looked more like a storage room, but now even that room was under threat. Rent had expired. School fees were pending. Her landlord was already sending threats. Evelyn sat on her iron bed one night and told herself, I must find something, anything at all. That was how she heard about the secretary job opening at Williams Global Corporation. The job description said clearly, ages 25 to 35 years. Evelyn looked at her ID card. She was already 35, just a few months in, but she whispered to herself, at least I have few months till I'm 36. I must apply. God will help me. The next morning, Evelyn woke up early. She borrowed iron from her neighbor Mama Sonia and ironed her best clothes that had seen better days, second-hand skirt and blouse. Her shoes, the heel had already filed down to the ground. But what would she do? By 8:30 a.m., she arrived at Williams Global Corporation. The moment she pushed open the grand glass doors, a wave of cold air hit her face. The AC there was colder than her second-hand fridge from Yaba. Evelyn shivered but kept walking forward. She was not about to let AC defeat her destiny. Her shoe made kurr sounds as she walked, but she held her head up and approached the receptionist. Good morning, Mom. I'm here for the secretary interview. The lady behind the desk looked her up and down, rolled her eyes a bit, but handed her a small card with a number. Go and wait in the waiting room with other candidates. Evelyn thanked her and walked inside. The moment she entered the waiting room, her confidence shook. Young, fresh faces filled the room. All of them looked like graduates who just finished NYSC. Fine girls in chiffon blouses, corporate skirts, shining pointed heels. Fresh boys with suits that could blind somebody. Evelyn swallowed hard. Her Okrika clothes looked like they had gone to war compared to theirs. Whispers started. Who is this old woman? She should be at home watching her grandchildren now. She's dragging job with fresh blood like us. Evelyn heard them but ignored it. Her heart beat fast, but she sat down quietly in one corner. A few minutes later, a cleaning cart rolled in slowly. An old woman, very old, easily in her 80s, pushed it in, struggling as if each step was a burden. Her uniform was wrinkled and old. Evelyn watched her, heart breaking for the woman. While the others cringed and shifted their chairs, the old woman kept pushing, stopping in front of a stubborn stain on the floor. That was when the receptionist lady, Linda, came in, her voice sharp like pepper. You old woman, you're supposed to clean this place before candidates arrive. Now you are disturbing my work. If you know you cannot do this job, go and sell groundnut under the bridge. You are slower than a snail with waist pain. People turned their faces away. Some covered their noses as if the old woman smelled. Evelyn could not bear it. She stood up and walked up to the old woman. Mama, good morning. What is the matter? My daughter, good morning, the old woman said, struggling to catch her breath. This stain, it just won't go away. My supervisor will soon come back and shout at me again. And that Linda secretary woman, with her long mouth like parrot, it's as if she enjoys insulting me every day in this company. Evelyn bent down and inspected it. It was a tough stain. Mama, this kind of thing needs alcohol-based solution. She hurried to her bag, brought out her hand sanitizer, poured some on the stain, and began scrubbing with the woman. Whispers started again. See her. Better just apply for cleaner nah. She's already good at scrubbing floors. Why is she dragging secretary work with us? Evelyn heard, but she ignored them. She focused on helping the woman. When she was done, she helped the old woman move her cart aside. She returned to her seat, heart still heavy. That was when her phone vibrated. It was her landlord, SMS. If you don't pay my rent by end of this week, pack your load and leave my house. Evelyn felt her chest tighten. Not even 2 minutes later, her phone rang again. This time, her children's school. Madam, we've been telling you. We don't run a charity organization here. Your children are the only ones who have not paid school fees. We are sending them back home today. Evelyn begged. Please, things are just tight right now. I used to pay on time before, please. Sorry, madam, we can't do anything. Exam is around the corner. We're sending them home. As soon as she ended the call, her son David called from his teacher's phone. Mommy, they have driven us out of class like stubborn goats. Mommy, when will you pay our school fees? Naomi grabbed the phone next. Mommy, we are tired of this embarrassment. Please pay. Evelyn felt like collapsing, but she promised them, Don't worry, I will pay shortly, I promise. She called her mother Mama Ruth and begged her mother to go pick up David and Naomi while she finished her interview. Despite everything, she sat there, eyes blank, staring into space. By 4 p.m., almost all the candidates had been called. Evelyn was still waiting. Her number hadn't been called. She walked up to the front desk and asked Linda, Excuse me, Ma, I have been here since morning, but my number has not been called. Linda chewed her gum slowly, looked her up and down and said, Hey, is that so? We are done for today. Come back tomorrow. But Ma, I've been here since morning. Madam, come back tomorrow. You want to swallow me with interrogation? Please move, let me do my job. Evelyn felt hot tears rise, but she swallowed them. She picked her bag and turned to leave. As she stepped out, she saw the old cleaner again. The woman was dragging her cart slowly in the hallway. Did you interview my daughter? The old woman asked. Mama, they didn't interview me. They said I should come back tomorrow, Evelyn told her, voice shaking. The old woman looked at her with calm eyes and smiled. Come back tomorrow, my daughter. God bless you. I believe you will get the job. And with that, Evelyn walked out into the evening sun, holding her bag like it was the last thing she owned. Her heart heavy, but her hope still alive. That night, Evelyn couldn't sleep. After picking up her children from her mother's place earlier, Mama Ruth had given her some foodstuff so they wouldn't sleep hungry. Now, as David and Naomi slept soundly beside her in their small one-room apartment, Evelyn sat quietly on the edge of the bed, staring at them with a troubled heart. Her mind kept repeating the same question. How did my life get to this point? That I, Evelyn Johnson, cannot pay my children's school fees? Silent tears rolled down her cheeks, but she wiped them quickly, clenching her fist tightly. I'm not going back to my yesterday, she whispered to herself. Forward ever. Early the next morning, Evelyn dressed her children and took them to Mama Ruth's house again. Mommy, we want to go to school, David and Naomi complained. Frowning like two stubborn children, Evelyn forced a smile. Don't worry, I'm going to get a job. Once I do, you'll go back to school. Just bear with me a little, okay? She left them with Mama Ruth and hurried back to Williams Global Corporation. By the time she arrived, it was even before 8 a.m. Evelyn stood tall, ignoring her tired legs and her old faded shoes that now looked more like slippers. Inside the lavish office lobby, she approached the receptionist desk confidently. Linda was already sitting there, filing her nails like she owned the company. Good morning, Ma. I'm here for the interview. You told me to come back today, Evelyn said. Linda looked at her from head to toe, then back to her nails. Vacancy filled. Evelyn's heart skipped. But I wasn't even interviewed. Linda snapped her gum loudly. Madam, I'm not HR that gives job. I said vacancy filled. Evelyn opened her mouth but said nothing. What was there to say? Her legs felt like paper as she turned around slowly, ready to leave. That was when she saw her, the old cleaner, Mama, dragging her cleaning cart again like one old Corolla without fuel. Evelyn walked straight to her. Mama, good morning. My daughter, good morning. Did you do your interview? Mama asked. No, Mama, Evelyn answered, her voice cracking. They said they have given the job to someone else. Mama sucked her teeth and shook her head. My daughter, Don't mind all these big office bosses. Everything is connection. But it is well. The old woman watched Evelyn quietly for a while, then leaned in closer and said, "Since secretary work didn't click, why don't you apply as a cleaner?" Evelyn stood still. Cleaner? Her heart ached just thinking about it. But she thought about her children, rent, school fees, bread on the table. Right there in the reception area, Evelyn sat down on one of the waiting chairs and wrote a fresh CV. Cleaner position. She submitted it to HR immediately. By the same afternoon, Evelyn was called in. She got the job. She was assigned to clean the toilets on the first floor. From secretary dream to toilet reality. But Evelyn didn't let shame hold her back. From her first day as a cleaner, she worked like someone on a mission. She cleaned her section fast, cleaner than a hospital operating room, then rushed over to Mama Sugar's section to help her. Every day after work, they would sit together in the locker room, eating bread and ground nuts like two old-time friends. Sometimes Evelyn would bring a small cold Coke. They would both drink from the same bottle, laughing and sharing stories. But not everyone was kind. Their cleaning supervisor, Mr. Boniface, popularly called Mr. Bonnie, had a sharp mouth that could slice yam. One morning as he walked past them, he shouted, "This dirty old woman! You are slower than tortoise with waist pain. I don't know who employed such old woman to work as cleaner." Evelyn couldn't hold it in anymore. She stepped forward boldly. "With all due respect, sir, she's doing her best. You have a mother at home. You don't need to belittle her every day because she's a cleaner. Have conscience." Mr. Bonnie's face changed as if pepper had entered his eye, but he walked away without saying another word. Later that day, Mama pulled Evelyn aside in the locker room. "My daughter, don't let them sack you. Just let them insult me. It will not kill me." But Evelyn shook her head. "Mama, it's not right." A few weeks later, they got their salaries. After collecting their pay, Mama quietly pulled Evelyn to one corner of the locker room. She pressed a folded brown envelope into her hand. "My daughter, take it. I know your children have not been going to school. I overheard your phone call with the principal that day." Evelyn quickly pushed it back. "Mama, no, I cannot take your money. You worked hard for it. But you helped me. You clean my own section every day." Evelyn's pride stood firm. "Mama, please, I will manage." From that day, their bond grew even deeper. During break time, both of them would sit in the locker room, sipping Coke and eating ground nuts and bread. Evelyn would sometimes joke, "That Linda, her mouth is long like parrot and her leg like mosquito legs." Mama Sugar would hold her chest, laughing so hard she nearly dropped her Coke. Most times, Mama Sugar would visit Evelyn's house. She became part of the family. David and Naomi loved her, and they even gave her a name, Mama Sugar. Whenever they saw her coming, they would run to the door shouting, "Mama Sugar! Mama Sugar is here!" "Mama Sugar, you are such a beautiful grandma," David said one afternoon as he patted Mama Sugar's head like a baby. "Yes, all she needs is small money for her true beauty." "To show," Naomi replied as she curled up on her laps like a cat. Mama Sugar laughed. So hard. Evelyn, who was cooking lunch in the kitchen, overheard them and laughed too. "You people should let Mama Sugar breathe well. Today's her day off," she called out from the kitchen. A few days later, Evelyn came home with a big Ghana Musco bag. Inside were Okrika clothes she had bought from the market. "Mama, I don't like the clothes you wear. You are looking like one woman from under the bridge. Please take these ones." Mama Sugar smiled wide, her eyes shining. "Thank you, my daughter. God will bless you." Evelyn smiled back. What she didn't know was that very soon, her story was about to change forever. Evelyn came to work that morning like every other morning, mop in one hand, bucket in the other. But something was off, very off. As she walked into the locker room, she looked around but couldn't find Mama Sugar. She checked the toilets too, nothing. She asked two other cleaners, "Please, have you seen Mama? Mama Sugar?" One shrugged. The other shook his head. "We never see her today." Evelyn frowned. Mama Sugar had never missed a day before. No matter how slow she walked, she always showed up. Her heart started to beat small, small. She pulled out her small techno phone and dialed Mama Sugar's number. Switched off. Her chest tightened. "I will go and visit her house after work," she told herself. Maybe she's sick. But she couldn't carry that thought too far because suddenly, a loud voice echoed from the PA system. All departments, the CEO is returning today from vacation. All cleaners must scrub every corner of this building before 12 p.m. Immediately, the building turned upside down. Managers ran up and down like rats that entered fire. Supervisors were sweating like Christmas goats wearing suits. Directors rushed to arrange files as if NEPA had just brought light. Even Linda, long mouth like parrot, cleaned her desk, wiped her red lipstick off, and even dabbed tissue on her forehead. The whispers started. She's a no-nonsense woman, oh. God help us today. By 12:30 p.m., a convoy of 3 big black SUVs pulled up in front of the building. Evelyn peeped through the toilet window and watched. The moment the first door opened, Mrs. Grace Williams stepped down, Chief Executive Officer of Williams Global Corporation. Her heels hit the floor like small hammer. Her suit looked so sharp it could cut yam. Her face was set like somebody that wasn't here to joke. Everyone lined up outside the lobby. Smiling like Christmas goats waiting for slaughter, Evelyn whispered under her breath. Mrs. Grace didn't even blink twice as she walked past them. Her eyes scanned every single one of them like camera lens. She saw Linda, Mr. Boniface, all the managers and directors. She knew all of them now for their true colors. Pretenders. The same people who insulted her as cleaner were now smiling, bowing as if their life depended on it. Mrs. Grace walked straight into her lavish office. Her perfume filled the building. It was not the kind of perfume you buy from the roadside. This one smelled like dollar and respect. She sat down behind her big mahogany desk, leaned back, picked up her office phone, and called, "Mr. Boniface, send Evelyn Johnson to my office, now." Mr. Bonnie almost dropped the phone from his hand. "Which Evelyn, Ma?" Mrs. Grace's voice came sharp. "How many Evelyn Johnsons do you have in your department? Do you want to lose your job?" Mr. Bonnie stammered. "No, Ma. I will send her up immediately." Evelyn was still wiping down her mop when Mr. Bonnie appeared, sweat already soaking his armpit. "Evelyn, CEO wants to see you." Evelyn froze. "Me?" she asked. "Yes, you. Come now." Her heart entered her stomach. "Who have I offended?" "My sharp mouth has finally landed me in trouble. What will I do now if they sack me?" Mama Sugar warned me. Her legs started shaking. Legs shaking like generator with low petrol. She dropped her mop and bucket, wiped her hands on her uniform, and followed Mr. Bonnie up the marble stairs. When she entered the CEO's office, the cold from the AC hit her face first. The cologne alone could cure 1,000 body odor cases. Evelyn bowed her head quickly like obedient servant. "Good morning, Ma," she said, voice shaking. Mrs. Grace's voice was calm. "Take a seat." Evelyn nearly fainted. "Sit down." Me? In the CEO's office? Her legs were already shaking like lizard with convulsion. She whispered to herself, "Is this the end? Do they want to arrest me for talking to my supervisor? God, please help me one more time." Mrs. Grace smiled gently as she watched Evelyn, sweating like a bucket of water. "Don't you recognize me?" she asked. Evelyn raised her eyes slowly for the first time. Her heart skipped. The face. It looked familiar. She squinted. "Mama Sugar? No, it can't be, but it was." "It's me," Mrs. Grace said with a small laugh. "Mama Sugar." Evelyn froze in her chair, her mouth opened wide. "Mama Sugar?" She nearly fell off the chair. How are you cleaner and CEO?" Mrs. Grace chuckled. "Because they call me the game player." She stood up, walked slowly to the window, and looked outside. "I wanted to know my staff, to see how they are running my company. Now I see some of them are running it like their father's pepper soup joint, and today they will cry blood." She pressed her intercom button. "Emergency board meeting, now." The entire building went mad again. Supervisors ran, managers ran, directors nearly tore their trousers. By the time everyone was seated in the large boardroom, Mrs. Grace entered. Silence filled the air. She cleared her throat. "Some of you run my company like your grandfather's beer parlor," she said, voice loud and clear. "I have been in your midst for months. I saw everything on 3D. I saw your corruption, your laziness. The way you treat subordinates. I don't need bad eggs in my company. Some board members were already sweating like Christmas goats. Mrs. Grace dropped the bombshell. I disguised myself as the cleaner, and now those of you who treated me bad, check your email. Your termination letter's already there. Mr. Boniface's face drained color. Linda's hand was shaking like a rabbit with diarrhea. Pack your load and leave my company, Mrs. Grace continued. Let me not see your shadow near my office ever again. Then she turned and smiled. Lastly, there's someone I want to reward. Her voice softened slightly. Evelyn Johnson. Everyone turned towards Evelyn. Promote her to general manager, effective immediately. Give her a Jeep and house in Banana Island. Her children David and Naomi now have full scholarships under my foundation. Gasps filled the room. Some whispered. Evelyn couldn't take it. Tears poured from her eyes like river. She rushed out of the boardroom, ran to Mrs. Grace's office, and knelt down crying. Thank you, Ma. Thank you, Ma. God bless you. Mrs. Grace pulled her up gently. You deserve it, Evelyn, she said softly. You treated me better than my own family members. You didn't mind my status. You were selfless and pure at heart. Mrs. Grace pulled her in for a hug. You and I, we're going to run this company together. Evelyn hugged her back, crying like a baby. From cleaner to general manager, from scrubbing toilets to sitting in the boardroom. Her story had just begun. After the big announcement that shook Williams Global Corporation, it was as if Judgment Day had arrived. Those who had been fired, supervisors, secretaries, even some directors, were escorted out of the company premises one by one. Their faces were long, like plantain leaf in rainy season. Security followed them, carrying their files and personal belongings like they were thieves being led to their jurors. Some of them tried to beg, Ma, please, have mercy. But Mrs. Grace Williams wasn't hearing any of it. Meanwhile, those who had been promoted, including Evelyn, were smiling ear to ear, moving to their new offices like fresh graduates who just collected NYSC posting. Evelyn couldn't stop crying and laughing at the same time. Her emotions were everywhere. The dramatic change her life had just taken. It felt like a dream. That evening, Evelyn found herself sitting beside Mama Sugar in the back of a big black SUV, flanked by 2 other escort cars. As the convoy drove towards her old apartment in the slums, Evelyn kept pinching herself. Was this real life? Every few minutes, she would glance at Mama Sugar sitting calmly beside her, looking like a queen with her expensive perfume and rich woman glasses. Mama Sugar noticed and chuckled. Do I look like Rihanna? Stop staring. I'm not running away. Evelyn laughed softly and wiped another tear from her eye. When they pulled up in front of her compound, children ran out. Neighbors stood outside, peeping. The whole slum was in shock. David and Naomi rushed out the moment they saw the SUVs. Their eyes widened like saucers. Mommy, Naomi shouted, where did you see Jeep? Evelyn stepped down from the car, adjusting her brand new suit. Destiny has found us, she said with a smile. Naomi blinked in confusion. How? What happened? Before Evelyn could answer, Mama Sugar stepped out of the SUV, looking radiant and rich. David gasped. Mama Sugar? They both ran towards her, holding her tight. Mama Sugar, you smell nice, Naomi said, inhaling deeply. Like rich people. So you are rich. Thank God. At least we can brag to our schoolmates now, Naomi added. David laughed. I always knew you were hiding beauty under that uniform. Mama Sugar chuckled. Children, life is funny like that. One day cleaner, next day CEO. You see why it's good to be kind? Evelyn knelt down and pulled her children close. Mama Sugar played detective in my eyes at the office. She explained gently. She changed our lives. She gave you scholarship. She gave us a big house. And this Jeep, it's ours now. We are moving to Banana Island. David and Naomi's mouths dropped open. Banana Island, Naomi shouted. We'll smell like rich people now. Mama Sugar clapped her hands gently and instructed her staff. Help Evelyn and her children pack. Let's move. That was how they left the slums. From one small room to a mansion. From fetching water in buckets to pressing remote control for AC. By nightfall, Evelyn stood in the living room of her new house in Banana Island. Polished marble floors, glass windows as tall as the ceiling, sofa that could carry 10 people. Her hands trembled as she touched the wall, just to be sure it wasn't a dream. The next morning, Evelyn reported to her new office as general manager. The building hadn't changed, but her level had. As she stepped into the lobby, staff turned their heads and whispered behind her back, "Is that not Evelyn Johnson? She used to be cleaner here now. If I had known, I would have treated her better." Even secretaries like Linda's replacement now rushed forward offering her coffee. "Good morning, Ma. Coffee or tea, Ma?" Evelyn smiled kindly and accepted. But inside her chest, she still remembered where she started from. From scrubbing toilets to signing official company memos. Her children resumed at their new school, a rich people's school where even the chairs had air conditioning. By the third day, Naomi came home and shook her head dramatically. "Mummy, if you hear the kind of English they speak in that school, you will be confused. But thank God we are now attending rich people's school. Soon we too will be speaking that kind of English." Evelyn laughed so hard she nearly dropped her tea. Mama Ruth moved in with them not long after. The small family now felt complete. Every weekend, they visited Mama Sugar's mansion in Ikoyi. It was like a routine. And even though Evelyn was now general manager, she still couldn't stay idle in Mama Sugar's house. One Saturday, as usual, Evelyn stood up and went to the kitchen to help cook. Mama Sugar caught her red-handed and shook her head. "Stop cleaning my house, you the stubborn goat. I have cleaners. You are now a general manager. Act with swag." Evelyn just laughed and hugged her like a daughter would hug her mother. Her level had truly changed. From scrubbing toilets to holding board meetings, from begging for school fees to giving scholarships. But in her heart, Evelyn stayed the same kind, humble woman, the one who always believed, forward ever, never back to yesterday. One hot afternoon, a few weeks after Evelyn had fully settled into her new role as general manager at Williams Global Corporation, she was reviewing some files in her glassy corner office when her office phone rang. It was the receptionist on the first floor. "Ma, one man is here. He said he is your husband." Evelyn froze for a second. "My husband," she echoed slowly. But she was divorced. Who could that possibly be? Evelyn stood up, adjusted her fitted black suit jacket, and walked calmly down the marble stairs, her heels making confident clicking sounds on the tiles. As she stepped into the reception area, her eyes locked with a familiar figure standing awkwardly by the front desk. It was Tunde, her ex-husband. He was no longer looking sharp like before. His once shiny shoes were dusty. His fine boy face now had small wrinkles. His shirt was ironed but tired looking. The moment he saw her, his eyes widened. "I heard you are now a big woman in Lagos," he said quietly, trying to keep his voice steady. Evelyn stood tall and folded her arms across her chest. "I thank God for making me a big woman in Lagos," she replied calmly. "What do you want, Tunde?" Tunde didn't waste time. "I'll just go straight to the point," he said. Evelyn's eyes narrowed slightly. "I want my children back." Evelyn blinked, then let out a slow chuckle. "You left us for your mistress now. You threw us out like we were nothing. Why do you suddenly want your children back now?" Tunde cleared his throat, pretending to look serious. "I want to be in their lives. I want full custody." Evelyn couldn't help it. She burst into loud laughter. "Full custody," she repeated. "You are drunk. You must be drunk." Tunde's face tightened. "I'm serious. I will fight for them in court." Evelyn shook her head, still smiling as she spoke. Her voice was cool but sharp like fresh razor blade. "Go ahead, Tunde. In fact, please, go to court. I beg you, go to court." She stepped closer, lowered her voice. "I'll make sure to drag you like generator starter in court. You'll pay child support until your hair turns gray. I'm no longer that woman you dumped like tissue paper. Just try me. Please try me." Tunde swallowed hard. His mouth moved like he wanted to say more, but no words came out. When he saw his usual tactics weren't working, he switched styles. He put his hands together like he was praying, and his voice softened. "Evelyn, please, forgive me. Let's come back together." Evelyn stared at him, her expression blank. "I was blind," Tunde said. "I shouldn't have left you." Evelyn's final words came out slow and clear. "God forbid." May I never go back to my vomit. She took a step back and shook her head firmly. Tunde, please leave my office building before I call security. If you want to see your children, you know how to reach me. But don't show your lying, cheating face here ever again. For your own good. She turned and walked away from him with the same quiet confidence as always. Her heels echoed down the lobby as she walked back towards her office. But her mind wasn't on the sound. Her mind was remembering everything. The nights she couldn't sleep, the times she cried quietly, from squatting in her mother's house, from cleaning toilets in that same building, to now, general manager, company car, Banana Island house, her children's lives changed forever. As she pushed open the door to her office and sat back in her chair, she whispered softly to herself, eyes full of quiet strength, "Never. I'm never going back." And with that, Evelyn Johnson closed her office file, leaned back in her leather chair, and smiled. From cleaner to boss lady. Her story was no longer one of struggle. It was one of victory. Thank you for watching. What do you think of this story? Let me know of your thoughts in the comment section below. Until I bring another intriguing story your way again, bye for now.